I know I'm the best in the world. 2022, you'll be seeing the new flyweight world champion right here.
I'm glad to be now. I'm happy. Mira México, man. Brandon, the assassin, baby. Moreno. Kai, don't blink. Caravan.
Brandon Moreno versus Kai Kara-France 2, the ultimate fight breakdown. Two fighters who have gone through so many ups and downs in their careers. Fighters who have overcome adversity and patchy runs get to compete against each other for the second time. This time for much higher stakes. The UFC decided to make an interim flyweight title after Davison Figueiredo's injury was announced, and now the rematch between Brandon Moreno and Kai Kara-France for the interim title is going down at UFC 277. Moreno lost the title in his last bout, and this is Kai's first opportunity to fight for the title, so it is an important fight for both men. This is definitely a matchup to look forward to, so without further ado, we here at Athlete Central are here to tell you everything you need to know about it in this ultimate fight breakdown. The first fight. Let's start off by discussing their first fight, which took place at the back end of 2019 at UFC 245. It was extremely competitive and purely a stand-up affair. The first round was going well for Moreno initially, as he was using his jab well and keeping the fight at his range, but Kara-France would frequently dodge his punches and counter, sometimes with kicks. Moreno started missing more, but both men were landing good combinations. Halfway through the round, Kara-France landed a big right hand after a double jab, which was the best shot of the round, rocking Moreno. Kai landed some nice kicks, both to Moreno's legs and head, before landing another big right hand on the Mexican. Safe to say that Kai definitely won that round, landing more strikes with a higher accuracy. The second round was much better for Moreno. The Mexican started out as the more active fighter and made Kara-France miss quite a few times. After the assassin baby was beating the Kiwi out in the tactical exchanges, Kai started to get wild, but didn't have much success. Moreno was the one putting the pressure on, having France up against the cage quite a few times and landing nice combinations, and ended with kicks to both the body and head. His counters were very successful, and for every strike Kai would land, Moreno would land 2 or 3. It was 1-1 heading into the third round. The third round was extremely competitive. Moreno showed versatility by throwing kicks to the head and the body. Those body shots really wore on Kai, who was looking more and more fatigued as the round progressed. Despite this, the Kiwi tried to put the pressure on and counter Moreno's beautiful combinations. He was missing more than he was landing though, and his shots didn't carry much power since he had blocked many of Moreno's head kicks with his forearms. Moreno really put the pressure on late in the round and fired off some nice combinations to leave no doubt in the judges' minds that he won the round. Recent fights. So let's start off with Kara-France, who lost to Brandon Royval in 2020 before embarking on his winning streak. Royval knocked Kai down twice in the first round, but Kai managed to get a knockdown of his own in this very entertaining fight.
He does out there. So
Huge right hand and an early knockdown for
At the start of the second round, Royval managed to secure a guillotine choke in the clinch and get the submission victory. Kai bounced back from this loss in his fight against BJJ artist Rogério Bonterin. The Brazilian landed a takedown on Kara-France early on and managed to spend the majority of the round on top, attempting 2 submissions and landing some ground and pound. At the end of the round though, the fight got back on their feet, with Kai managed to land the perfect shot to knock Bonterin out with 5 seconds left in the first round. Kara-France next fought against Cody Garbrandt, which was the highest profile fight of his career. The fight only lasted 1 round, and Kai showed his class by shutting Garbrandt out on his flyweight debut, outstriking the American and knocking him out 3.5 minutes into the fight. A statement performance for the division. Kai's last fight was against Askar Askarov, which turned out to be a title eliminator bout. Askar won the first round, landing a takedown and attempting 2 submissions while spending the majority of the round in a dominant position. Kai turned things around though in the second and third rounds, defending 9 out of 10 takedowns and landing double the amount of strikes that Askar was, getting the decision win. Now moving on to Moreno, who also faced Brandon Royval in 2020, it was a fight that secured him his title shot. Brandon was dominating the fight, even though Royval looked dangerous off of his back. Moreno landed 2 takedowns and was able to control Brandon on the mat for over 3 minutes. The fight was stopped at the end of the first round because of an injury to Royval's rib. What preceded this was a trilogy with Davison Figueiredo. The first fight was extremely competitive, and even though the high-level bout ended in a draw, many thought that Davison actually won. The rematch was nothing like it though. Moreno dominated the Brazilian wherever they went, absolutely outclassing him before securing a rear naked choke in the 3rd round. Their last bout was a loss for Moreno despite him landing more strikes. Deuce de Guerra managed to knock the Mexican down 3 times in the fight, and he got the unanimous decision win. Attributes. Both fighters are entering the primes of their careers. Brandon Moreno is 28 and Kai Kara-France is 29, so it's pretty impressive that they have a combined 61 pro fights between them. In terms of anthropometry, Moreno is the way taller man, standing at 5 feet 7 inches, compared to Kai, who is 5 feet 4 inches. Their reach is almost identical though, with the Mexican having a 70-inch reach and the Kiwi having a 69-inch reach. Striking. Moreno is very well-rounded, but Kai is predominantly known for his striking, so let's see whether the statistics reflect that. Moreno lands 3.54 significant strikes per minute, but Kai has a much higher volume, landing 4.84 per minute. Both stats are no joke, but clearly Kai uses his stand-up more. In terms of accuracy, it's pretty even, with Kara-France being at 40% compared to Moreno's 39%. In terms of striking defense, Moreno absorbs less strikes, 3.31 significant strikes per minute to be exact, while Kai absorbs 3.51. Now this could be down to the fact that Moreno uses his grappling more, so it is harder for opponents to land strikes on him while he is on top. Kai has a significantly better defense rate, defending 65% of his opponent's strikes, while Moreno only defends 57%. When it comes to power, Kai takes the cake. He has a whopping 12 KO TKOs to his name from 24 fights. Now that might not sound like a lot, especially since he only has 2 knockouts in the UFC, but it is not that common for knockouts to happen at flyweight, and Kai is one of the more prolific finishers in the division. In comparison, Moreno only has 3 knockouts in his 19 victories, with only 1 of them coming in the UFC, and even that was thanks to Brandon Royval's shoulder injury. Grappling. Now this is where we're expecting Moreno to have a massive advantage, so let's see what the stats tell us. The Mexican lands 1.84 takedowns per 15 minutes, while Kai Kara-France only lands 0.43. And Moreno also has a much higher accuracy, standing at 47% compared to 21%. Moreno has a wrestling background, so it is unsurprising to see him thrive in this category where he is one of the best in the division. In terms of takedown defense, Kara-France has the better percentage, defending 86% of takedowns against him, which is really high, while Moreno defends 69%, which is also not bad. Now we also have to consider that Brandon likes taking the fight to the ground because of his diverse skill set in BJJ. He knows that he can hang with almost anyone on the mat. Speaking of BJJ, Moreno attempts 0.7 submissions per 15 minutes, while Kai hasn't even attempted a single one throughout his time in the UFC. He has a total of 3 submissions to his name outside of the UFC, 2 guillotine chokes and a rear naked choke. Moreno, on the other hand, has 11 wins via sub on his record, and his go-to is definitely the rear naked choke, but he has also won fights by armbar, guillotine choke, and triangle choke, showing the diversity in his BJJ. Prediction? So this is a very tough fight to predict, and given how their first fight went, there really isn't much to separate the 2 athletes. Kai is one of the hardest hitting guys at 125 pounds, but Moreno has never been knocked out, so we doubt Kai can end the fight in that fashion. On the other hand, Kai has lost by submission 3 times, which is Moreno's strong suit. Now, in the first fight, Moreno did not even hint at attempting to grapple and chose to have a stand-up affair with Kai, which in the end worked out for him. He proved that he can go toe-to-toe with a pure striker. Although, given how close the last fight was, the Assassin Baby might choose to utilize his grappling more in this bout. Now, that won't prove to be an easy feat either. Kai has great takedown defense at 86%. High-level grapplers have been able to take him down though, and Moreno certainly falls into that category. His jiu-jitsu is slick, his wrestling is on point, and his striking is crisp, which gives him a big advantage because he has the power to dictate where the fight takes place. He can push for takedowns, or in the case of being comfortable in the stand-up, he can choose to stand with Kai. Kai has the ability to win the fight, his striking is exceptional, and he has a great striking arsenal. His combinations are powerful, and he has shown the ability to adapt when fights are not going his way. One thing that may stand in his way to a victory is cardio. He has only ever had 3-round bouts, while Moreno has just had a trilogy against Davison Figueiredo, and all of the bouts have been 5 rounds. Kara France has to adapt to that duration and attempt to pace himself. The bookmakers are currently favoring the former champ Brandon Moreno, pitting him as the -160 favorite and Kara France as the +140 underdog. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and who would you guys put your money on? Drop your fight predictions in the comments below, and make sure to like and subscribe to never miss an Athlete Central video. Until next time.